In today's video, I'm gonna teach you how to post-stabilize your footage on the DJI Avata. One nice thing that they added to the Avata is the fact that now it supports gyro information, which means you can go ahead and post-stabilize your footage that much further. With that being said, let's get started. What's good, everybody? Ken here, you're watching OriginaldoBo, and today we're gonna talk about using Gyroflow for the DJI Avata. Now, really quickly, I'm gonna give you a couple of reasons on why you might want to use Gyroflow versus the in-body stabilization called Rocksteady. And reason number one is the flexibility. You can adjust your smoothness, you can even lock your horizon if you chose to. You can make your footage as smooth as you want. You can even adjust your field of view and adjust any sort of distortion all in post. And typically speaking, Gyroflow and even like RealSteady programs are usually a lot smoother, but the reality is that stabilization isn't baked in, so if you don't want to, stabilize something, you don't have to. Reason number two, it gives you options for export. So if you want to export out to, let's say, ProRes, a really large, wonderful file to edit, you can definitely do that, because right now internally, this is only putting out H.265 and H.264, which sometimes can be a little bit more compressed and harder to edit for, certain programs such as Premiere Pro. So ProRes is just a great way to go about it, and it just gives you a much more workable file. So those are some of the reasons why you may want to do some post-stabilization. Now, there are some things you have to turn off before you're able to do this. The first thing you need to do is going to the settings on the goggles and turn off electronic image stabilization. If you're seeing this option grayed out, that means that you are actually armed or recording. Make sure that you are not armed and you are not recording to go ahead and change that setting. The second thing you want to make sure that you have done is set your field of view to wide. If you set your field of view to FOV ultra wide, you are not going to get any gyro information, and you're going to be pretty disappointed when you get back into post. This happened to me a couple of times where I was filming in ultra wide, and unfortunately it wasn't writing any gyro information, and when I brought it into Gyroflow, it didn't recognize anything. So don't do that, and you'll have some great footage. All right, now let's go ahead and jump into Gyroflow, and I'll show you how this all works. All right, so with Gyroflow open, the only thing you have to do is go ahead and select your video clip. So I'm just gonna go ahead and grab this clip right here. With that clip selected, if you have gyro information and everything is correct, you shouldn't get any sort of orange warning bar at the very top. So as you can see, I don't have any sort of orange warning bars, so that means everything is correct in the way it should be. The next thing I can do is I can go ahead and trim this clip up to where I want my video to actually start. And I think I want the video to start here. And I want the video to end, I want it to end like right here. Like right as it gets to this glossy part, I want the video to end. So I'm gonna stop it just like that. All right, you have some options where you can change the field of view. You can even lock the horizon. I like to lock the horizon on Cinewhoop footage because I'm just not a big fan of that Dutch axis. You can even choose how much you want it to lock that footage. So if you want to have a little bit of roll to your footage, which I think a little bit of roll is okay, like I'm thinking like 70% is probably okay. You can actually go ahead and put it like at about 70%. You can even turn on the ability to correct for roll and shutter. That's where you get that sort of bowing effect as you're going past something quickly. So you can turn that on or off if you need to. Now I have mine set to export out to X.265, which is H.265 essentially, but you can also set this to ProRes or any other file format. ProRes is going to give you a very, very large file, so make sure you're prepared for that. And yeah, that is basically it. Down here at the bottom, we can go ahead and change where we want our export path to be. You can also send it to a render queue. You can have multiple projects rendering at one time. I use Gyroflow for a lot of different things, so it's not uncommon for me to have like a couple of different clips going through and being stabilized. You can also play this back and see what you like or don't like about it. And honestly, I pretty much know that this is okay and good to go. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and click on export. And now it's gonna go through and render this clip. Now this can take anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes, depending on how fast your computer is. This is an M1 Mac, and usually I found that this takes about 3.5 to 4 minutes for a 3 or 4 minute clip. So it's about a minute per minute that you filmed, essentially, is what it's been taking me so far. So once this is done rendering, I'll go ahead and play it back for you so you can see the final result of it all. Alrighty, so now that that clip is rendered, it took just under 2 minutes to render that entire clip. You can go ahead and open that file location and play it back. Alrighty, so that's Gyroflow for the DJI Avata. Honestly, I think it looks pretty good. I'm a big fan of post-stabilization like that because there are some times where I want the footage to look a certain way, and I may not just be happy with the way it's looking baked in. So like I said, I think Rocksteady's great for about 80% of the pilots out there that would be flying this, but I think for that other 20% that just want to take it to the, that next level, I think that's where Gyroflow is really going to excel for them. So again, all that flexibility is really nice too. So if you have any questions, leave them down below, and as always, stay original.